And we are back with the third segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this third segment, we are going to be talking about Caitlin Clark and her recent struggles with in the WNBA and with her team because let's face it, she's been rather, well, not she, but the team and their success has been rather underwhelming. A lot of people immediately thought, okay, Caitlin is on the team. Now the team is immediately going to start winning. It's not how it works. It's not how sports works. No matter how optimistic you want to be, not everyone is going to walk into the NBA or the WNBA as a rookie and be LeBron. No one, it's not going to happen. It's the same criticism that's been thrown at for Victor Wembanyama when they talk about, oh, Victor wasn't ready and oh, the team is bad. But it's like the team is not winning, things like that. But there's a lot more to it than just, one individual player. However, I'm not going to beat around the bush and say Caitlin has played great, because she hasn't played great. And it seems a lot more difficult for her to get a bucket in this league than it is for her to get one in college. And it genuinely makes sense. I mean, you're going up against the best of the best with women athletes, and obviously the defense is going to be a lot tougher on you than it is in college, because in college there's going to be some players that allow you to get away with certain shot attempts. In the WNBA, that is not going to happen, or even in the NBA or in any kind of big leagues, it's not going to happen. The main difference between the big leagues and the smaller leagues is that you're going against the best of the absolute best in the respective sport that you're playing in. In college, you're going up against, certain people. There's a lot of good players in college, yes, but not every single one of them is going to be drafted to either the WNBA or in the NBA, regardless of whether you're looking at it from the men's side or the women's side. Not everyone is going to be a all-pro player. Not everybody is going to be a professional athlete. So when you're going up against other professional athletes, it's like the playing field is somewhat leveled for you. So you have an even competition going into the game off rip. And even then, when the team is better than you, it's even more odds. However, the biggest problem with Caitlin is not her. I'm as crazy as it sounds, it's not her. She is not the problem. She is not the reason why. Her play is not the reason why the Fever is struggling. It's her teammates. I went to the Liberty game, and watching Caitlin Clark's teammates out there on the court, I realized why she was struggling so much. It enlightened me to a sense. Not obviously I didn't get enlightened, but it opened my eyes to why she was struggling so much in these games. Because when you're looking at, highlights, it sort of skews exactly what's been going on in the game. You actually have to watch the game to understand what's going on. And with Caitlin, when I was at that Liberty game, even though I was up in the nosebleeds, I could see with my two eyes what the problem was. And the problem was her teammates. Her teammates are terrible. They have no idea what they're doing on the court. It is disgusting to me. What I saw them do on the court was disgusting. And I'm sorry if I sound mean or just rude or anything like that, because these are female athletes and they are very good at their sport. So all respect to them for getting drafted, but those players, they're the exact reason why the WNBA got so much hate before Caitlin got into this league. I'm sorry to say it, they are terrible. The rest of the team is bad, and I'll explain why, because just saying they're bad isn't enough. I'll explain why. So Caitlin Clark, obviously she's a guard. Guards in today's NBA and today's WNBA, they run pick and roll offenses. Every time there's a screen set, she gets blitzed. Now, whenever you get blitzed off of a pick and roll, you have several options. Your first option is to pass to the roller as the roller slips. Or if the roller is slipping, there's going to be a weak side coming in from the corner to play help defense. That's when you make the play and pass to the corner, or pass down to the middle, and then the person down the middle passes to the corner, which gives you an open three. The Fever weren't doing that. The Fever just were not doing that at all in the game. In fact, you know what? Let me just go ahead and go back to my face so that way you could see my hands so when the screener is setting their pick, the two defenders, they're standing right, one over here and one over there, they come up and blitz the ball. And then the screener is supposed to drop down low, thus allowing, Caitlin to make the pass down low. But the thing is, there's going to be somebody playing that lane because that pass is relatively easy to anticipate. And then, once that lane is played, you have either two options. You either, force the pass in there, or you pass to somebody who's wide open outside for the three, or something of that nature. And it'll give you an open shot almost every single time, because when you're getting doubled, chances are somebody is going to be left open. And the goal is to put yourself in a position to score where there is a point that you cannot return from if you're on the defensive side. And when she was getting blitzed, the screener refused to drop down low. Instead, the screener would just run out, farther to the three-point line where she can't shoot from out there, by the way, and just hold the ball and try to reset the play again. And I'm out here sitting that is not going to work. You got to drop down low and make a play for somebody else, because that's how you open up and create the space. They weren't doing that. They were just allowing them to blitz, and it was horrible. Not to mention, when she didn't have the ball, there was this other female guard on the team that I just despised. I didn't even know who it was. I didn't even know exactly who it was at the time. I just knew that I didn't like her at all. I just knew that I did not like her, and I was not a fan at all. Her name is Kelsey Mitchell. I'm sorry, no disrespect whatsoever. I'm sure she's a great player. She was bad. She's really, really not it. She's a ball hog. She, for being a guard, she hogs the ball a lot. And she takes some of the worst shots I've ever seen. And it doesn't amount to anything. And it infuriated me watching her play. Not to mention the rest of her team was blowing layups, blowing easy opportunities, taking terrible shots down the court. It was just bad offense all around. And it had nothing to do with Caitlin, because Caitlin was trying her best. The most open shot she could get on the court was a half-court bomb. That's the most she was going to get in an open shot. And she had to take it. And honestly, a couple of them went in, which was very surprising to me. But the Liberty are also a very, very good team, and they played very well in that game against the Indiana Fever. But regardless, the Fever could have still made the game competitive had they done something a little bit more simpler, as to stopping their blitz. They just had no game plan to stop their blitz, and it didn't make any sense to me, because all you had to do was drop down low and then have one of your shooters, and then kick the ball out to one of your shooters off the screen. The screener wasn't dropping down low. It was so bad to watch. And I really dislike talking like this, because it makes me seem a little bit ignorant, saying that I know more about basketball than female athletes. But the way they were playing, it was dumb. I'm sorry, but they were just making things worse. It was really, really dumb, and I just did not agree with that whatsoever. They really need to adjust. They need to adjust their game plan, and they need to adjust their ability to get other players involved and other players open, because setting one screen and then flaring out, it's not going to do you any good. It just won't do you any good with at least the way that she was doing it. Like, you can pop, obviously, but if the if the ball handler is getting blitzed, you cannot pop. You have to drop down low, because once you drop, that is going to force help and then leave somebody open. Like, that is the best type of shot you're going to get in that scenario. I mean, obviously, you have to, like, lead the blitz. Like, Caitlin Clark is going to have to lead the blitz in a different direction, so that way, you know, the shot attempt doesn't, like, they can't rotate after, you know, they're done blitzing. But you have to be aware, and they just didn't seem to be aware of the situation whatsoever. And the coach, I'm surprised the coach didn't make any kind of adjustments either with that game plan. I understand that, like, you know, the women, they can't dunk, but still, you have to go down low. And it just really frustrated me that that was the reason why they lost. And I was like, no wonder why Caitlin Clark is 0-4 in the WNBA. Her team is full of dog water. Her team is bad. Her team is not good. It was bad. It was really, really bad. But that's all I have to say about the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark's struggles in these games. The Fever, they really, really need to turn it around offensively with their team. It's not Caitlin's fault, it's the rest of the players' fault. They're going to let her down with every single game in the balance. I can see it now. That team is pitiful. And with that, we're going to go ahead and talk and shift our focus back to the NBA, where we give a quick conference finals preview of the games. And there's only one game that's going to happen tonight, and the next game is going to happen tomorrow. So I'll give my thoughts on, like, what I expect to happen, and who I think is going to win in the series, who I hope is going to win in the series, right after this short break. So stay tuned for that.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.